USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
The First Lady of New York Radio, Joan Hamburg. Entertaining and informative. Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Welcome, everyone, to the Joan Hamburg Show. And today is like a persistence of memory day because Dr. Mark Hyman, who grew up to be the senior advisor for the Cleveland Clinic Center for Functional Medicine, and that's only one of the 2 zillion things he does, founder and director of the Ultra Wellness Center, host of a top health podcast, The Doctor's Pharmacy, so many books, including a new one, which I just finished, naturally top on my list of what I'm interested in, Young Forever, The Secrets to Living Your Longest, Healthiest Life. And what I love is that Dr. Mark says, even at an age when you think, you're done, you can change your life and really add years and healthy years and enjoy everything. I met Dr. Hyman, I can't even tell you how many years ago. I'm sure you don't remember. We were at Canyon Ranch, which was
more than 20 years ago. Fairly
not what it is over these years. And we were all sitting waiting for a class, and Dr. Hyman came by. And we thought, oh, my gosh, she's so cute. Let's bring all our daughters here. And that's how it started.
Yeah.
And in those days, we were broadcasting from Canyon Ranch every year.
That's right.
And we had a great time. And then you have gone on from success there to everything, to being a leading doctor for many leading political figures, entertainers. You've done a lot.
I have, yeah. It's been a long, good road. And, bringing this message of functional medicine, bringing the message of how we can all actually activate our body's healing system and feel good is really the purpose of my life, bringing this new science to everybody.
Well, and what is so reassuring is you point out that even if you haven't led this kind of life, you can and do it fairly quickly.
Absolutely. Joan, we don't realize just how powerful our body's own intelligence for healing is. When we cut our skin, we don't go, oh, you better go over there, stem cells, and you put the skin together. The body knows what to do. But what we're now discovering with the science of longevity is that we have these ancient built-in longevity switches that we can turn on and reverse our biological age. I'm 63 chronologically, but I'm 43 biologically because I've applied the principles of the science of longevity to actually understand how to activate my body's own innate healing intelligence. And that can happen at any age. Quick story. I had a patient at Cleveland Clinic who came to see me, and you think, oh, this is good for prevention. If you start early, it's good.
Find
but
out what they have.
maybe it's fine. But actually, works for people who are at the end of the rope. This woman was hugely overweight. Her body mass index was 43. That's severely obese. Obese is 30. So she's just huge. She had type 2 diabetes for 10 years. She was 66 years old. She had heart failure. She had a bunch of stents. She had high blood pressure.
Right.
She had liver.
She wasn't that old.
No, fatty liver. She had kidneys that were starting to fail. She was a mess, and she was on $20,000 of copay, her medication. That was just what she had to pay every year. She came to see us in 3 days of changing her diet, using the principles that I talk about in Young Forever about food as medicine. 3 days she was off her insulin. 3 months she reversed her diabetes, reversed her heart failure, reversed her kidneys failing, reversed her fatty liver, normalized her blood pressure, was off all her medications. From diet and a simple lifestyle things and some simple supplements, all the things I talk about in Young Forever. And then in a year, she lost 116 pounds.
How'd she do
and
that?
Just using food as medicine. Yeah, just following the principles of Young Forever, which essentially is designed to activate your body's healing. So there's no drug on the planet that could reverse her diabetes, reverse her heart failure, reverse her kidneys, fix all that stuff. That's how powerful food is. And most people understand that we have always, like Goldilocks, the Wizard of Oz, like Dorothy, to actually click our heels and go back to Kansas. Metaphorically, we can click our heels and get back to health if we know how our bodies work. And this is really an owner's manual, if you have a body, of how it works and what to do to keep it running right.
And you also point out that the process of aging and is a condition. I mean, it involves a lot of issues. It's not 12, like everyone says, oh, I have diabetes or my heart isn't good. Or you say it's not 12 different things.
No, it's exactly right, Joan. I think what's really exciting about the science of longevity is that it's sort of mirroring what I've done for 30 years in functional medicine, is understanding the body as a system, and that there are some root causes that underlie all disease. And if we deal with those root causes, we don't have to treat all the diseases. So scientists are saying, if you cure heart disease and cancer and you got rid of them from the face of the planet,
you're good.
We'd only... Let's say we did, which we can't, but let's say we did, we would basically extend our life by about 7 years. If we address the hallmarks of aging, these underlying problems that go wrong that I explain how to do in the book, we might get 30 or 40 years of life extension, because those are the things that go wrong that cause heart disease, diabetes, cancer, dementia, right? And that is the exciting part of the science, is we now can not treat those diseases, but we can create health and treat these dysfunctions that actually give us a lot longer life and a lot healthier life.
And what about people keeping their brains? I mean, you point out in Young Forever that Alzheimer's, with the billions spent and everything else, we haven't made any progress on any of that stuff. No,
we've spent over $2 billion on over, I think, 400 different studies, and nothing's really shown to be effective. Maybe you're a few months delayed to getting into a nursing home, but there's really no advances. But with this approach, we've seen remarkable changes in people's cognitive function. Using the power of the body's own healing system, we can help the brain repair, heal, and renew. And my colleague, for example, Dale Bredesen, has written a number of books about reversing Alzheimer's, and now has a book called The First Survivors. We hear of survivors of cancer, but who's a survivor of Alzheimer's? Nobody, right? Well, now actually you can be, and it sounds crazy to say that, but
it's hard
to believe, but actually I've seen it, and I've had patients, many patients, who follow these principles and get their brains back, because it's really about what we're eating. It's exercise, it's environmental toxins, it's our microbiome and our gut, our nutritional status. You start to fix all these things, and people get better.
Which is still unbelievable, and they stay better, right?
Yeah, if they do this. It's like one patient I had, I cured his diabetes because I told him to cut out all the starch and sugar. And he's like, okay, Dr. Hyman, now can I go back to eating my carbohydrates now that my diabetes is cured? I'm like, no, it's what caused it in the first place. You can have a little, but not like you did.
You hear that all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm better. I lost all this weight, so what's wrong if I have whatever?
Right, no.
And sweets. You and I have talked about sweets. I mean,
sugar,
unfortunately, I love sugar.
Everybody does. Listen, it's addictive, and here's what we know about the science of sugar. It's actually doing everything in your body to accelerate aging. If you want to do one thing to dramatically, it's either give it up or just have it occasionally as a treat, as opposed to daily a habit in your coffee and your tea and your breakfast cereals. It's in tomato sauce. It's in salad dressing. I mean, it's everywhere. So you have to be vigilant. But the key is if you can cut down that sugar and starch, you let your body start to heal and get rid of all these age-related problems that are related to insulin resistance. And 93% of Americans have some form of prediabetes. They're metabolically unhealthy. That's a scary stat. It's a relatively new statistic. 93% of us have either high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high blood sugar, are overweight, or have had heart attack or stroke.
That means sound good.
6% of us don't.
That's nothing.
No, I'm lucky I'm in the 6%, but it's because I know what to do and how to apply it.
I was always convinced when I was a kid, we always had a lot of company, a huge family, enormous meals all the time. Mm-hmm. I mean, a meal was never over. Dinner may have ended being served, but then you went to the next. And I was convinced that parents, including my own, would hold it out as a treat. If you eat everything on your plate, then you can have dessert.
Right, exactly.
With my kids, I vowed I wouldn't do that. So
you let them have dessert first?
Right. I'd come home from work and I'd say, well, what do you want? Knowing they were lamb. In those days, we ate lamb chops and meat and everything.
Yeah, that's fine.
And Lizzie, my daughter, would say, well, I think maybe I'll have ice cream. I'd say, fine, have it. I swear to you, never cared about sweets. Not a big deal.
Yeah,
because it
wasn't
never
forbidden.
No forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
And John is the exact same way.
That's amazing. Yeah,
you want it, have it. And so suddenly it wasn't as alluring as that mysterious whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's interesting with kids and with everything you do. But we still love it. And even the Canyon Ranch that I met you at, the highlight was dessert.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. We've evolved in an era where we didn't have that much sugar, and we find a honey comb somewhere, maybe some berries. The truth is now we're just swimming in a sea of sugar and flour, and that's killing us. That's driving all the aging pathways. It's driving inflammation and damage to our mitochondria and our gut, and helps us to store belly fat and lower our growth hormone, which makes our bodies repair, and increase cortisol, our stress hormone, and adrenaline. And it just is a horrible cascade that happens as we age. And the key to healthy aging and what this sugar and starch does is it makes you lose muscle and gain fat. The key to healthy aging is gaining muscle and lowering your fat in your body, because when you build muscle, one can do stuff, like you can get up out of a chair, you can open a bottle, you can do the functional things you want to do, and you have to build strength to do that. And if you don't, you'll end up being more frail, and that's why people end up in nursing homes, not because they're sick,
but because they need.
So you need to do resistance training. You need to have more protein as you get older, and particularly you have to take a break from eating between dinner and breakfast, because if you give your body that break from food, it's mimicking starvation, and that puts your body into a repair mode. And you do this thing called autophagy, which is like self-cannibalism. You literally eat up all the bad parts and recycle all the old stuff. And so you need a break from dinner to breakfast. So it should be like from dinner at 6 and breakfast at 8. That's 14-hour fast, which people don't give a big fast, but that's
right. But
enough.
You're not that aware of it at those hours.
But if you're eating, like all day and then dinner and then have snacks at night, you're going to screw your whole system up.
Do most people do that?
Yes. Late night eating is a huge thing, and eating late and going to bed. So all that stuff is really bad for us. And then in the morning, you want to build muscle, you need protein. And actually, you do need animal protein because it's the most dense protein. It's the most bioavailable protein. It has the right amino acids, whereas plant proteins don't. So if you have plant proteins and you're a vegan, you need probably a processed protein powder, and also to add in some amino acids like leucine to make sure you can build muscle. So the muscle thing is so key as we get older. I had my dad who was, in the 80s, mid 80s, and he couldn't get up out of a chair anymore. And he would like struggle, and and so I said, listen, let me get you a trainer. We got a trainer, and then a couple years later, he's playing tennis with me.
Unbelievable. I try to force myself to get up out of a chair.
Yeah.
Every day, but
you need a trainer, Joan, to come kick your butt.
I need a trainer. I need or arms of a chair that I hold on and lift myself.
Yeah, but you should be able to get up and just stand up without anything like that. That's normal. Without leaning forward. And if you can't do that, that's a simple exercise. That means your body has lost so much muscle that you can't simply stand up.
And can you repair that muscle?
Absolutely. That's the amazing thing that, we have embedded within us, this ancient system of repair, renewal, and reversing longevity, reversing aging, if we know how to activate it. And most of the things we do in our culture screw it up. Our crappy diet, lack of exercise, stress, and all these things affect our biology in a way that makes us older faster. But we now can actually activate these ancient systems within us to reverse our biological age, to help us get stronger, fitter. At any age, it doesn't matter whether you're 80 or 20 or 50 or even 100, you can do these things. There's a great story of a woman, and I wrote about the book, Emma Morano, who lived to be 117 years old. And she, when she was younger, her doctor told her to eat eggs because she was anemic, 3 eggs a day. And then when she was in her 90s, she was a bit frail, and her doctor told her to eat 150 grams of meat a day, which is, a fair bit.
A lot.
It's a fair bit. And she did. And she was lived to be 117 because the protein is actually one of the most important nutrients as you get older to build and maintain muscle.
So when you get up in the morning, you get up and work out first,
Yeah,
right?
My routine is basically in the morning, it gets me going, and it's like my longevity hacks in the morning. So I wake up, I try to meditate for 20 minutes.
Can you?
I do, yeah.
You're not distracted?
No, I'm a good meditator. I use a mantra meditation. I go really deep, very quick. I've been doing it for a long time. And then I'll do a 30-minute workout with my bands. I use resistance training, very intense. I use the Tom Brady system, which is it's almost like cardio and band training, and I can travel with them anywhere. Then I have in my home, I have a steam and a big bathtub, and I take a hot steam for a while, and I get really hot.
Every day.
If I'm home.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I use that to activate these pathways through this process called hormesis that I talk about in the book,
right.
which is a stress that doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. So heat therapy activates your innate immune system. It cleans up old damaged proteins that lead to aging. Cold therapy, then I jump in the bath, fill it with cold water, jump in that cold bath. And it's actually amazing. You get a big hit of dopamine. It's like having 10 cups of coffee without
You sit in the cold water?
Full in. That's it. I lay down full in. And, 2-3 minutes in there, and it's powerful. And then you wake up, your dopamine is great. It increases your metabolism. And then I have my healthy aging shake, which I have the recipe for in the book, which is goat whey. I use whey protein as a concentrated form of protein. I add a little creatine. I add some things that help my mitochondria, like urolithin A from pomegranate. And I add in some adaptogenic mushrooms, and I put in some my gut food product, which basically is like a multivitamin for the gut that I created. And then I essentially have that shake, and it lasts me through.
Is that shake delicious?
It's delicious. I put in some berries and some macadamia milk, and it helps me build muscle, be stronger. And I can say at 63, I'm fitter and stronger and more muscular than I was at 30 or 40 or 50.
And then you have lunch, or you don't?
Yeah, then I have lunch, yeah. Sometimes it'll last me a little longer. The shake lasts me a bit. But I'll have lunch, usually some salad and a can of sardines or salmon and some nuts and olive oil and olives and avocado, some good fats.
So you'll have a real lunch.
Yeah. And then usually at dinner I have a good, piece of fish or chicken or meat that's ideally grass-fed. Can always get that. And I eat lots and lots of veggies, so 3, 4, 5 different vegetable dishes. And there's certain ones that are really important for longevity, these plant compounds. So I have cruciferous vegetables, the broccoli family. I have the purple Japanese sweet potatoes. So their purple color is super great for you. That's what the Okinawans eat. They live to be well over 100 on average. I have also green tea, which is a very powerful activator of healing. I use turmeric in my cooking, but I also take turmeric supplements. And so basically you can start to include foods that activate these longevity pathways that I listed in the book that help people to sort of automatically do the right thing for their body.
And you touched upon supplements. And what do you take on a regular basis?
Well, I think, there's the basics that everybody needs to take, and then there's some of the emerging things around longevity that are cool. So I think everybody needs a multivitamin, fish oil, and vitamin D, because most of us are nutrient deficient in one of those things, and it's great insurance. And for example, with COVID, in Israel, they did a study where they found that if your COVID level was your vitamin D level was over 50, there was 0 deaths from COVID, like better than vaccines in terms of effectiveness. So
how do they get vitamin D?
You need to take a supplement. So you can't, unless you're out there in the sun, half naked for at least an hour a day. Good luck, So you need vitamin D, and 80% of us are deficient or have insufficient levels, and that's a simple intervention. One study, they gave people vitamin D and reversed their biological age by a year by taking the vitamin D for a year.
So you take that in your morning with your shake?
Yep. And then I also take some special phytochemical supplements. I use phycetin from strawberries, which kills zombie cells that we accumulate, these old inflamed cells. I take quercetin.
But you don't take fresh strawberries, which
I do
heard
if I can.
Are infected a lot.
Well, if most strawberries are sprayed with pesticides, so you don't want to have strawberries unless they're organic. And they're, but you can get the phycetin capsules, quercetin, which is Frozen, yeah. Phycetin is a very powerful compound from strawberries. Quercetin from onions is another powerful longevity supplement. It's a plant compound. I take curcumin, green tea extract. So I take these as part of my supplement regimen. And I take some NMN, which is also maybe a little controversial, but there's a lot of research on this to activate a lot of the healing pathways.
What is that? Is that a pill or
it's a supplement?
Powder?
It's a supplement, yeah. It's a supplement. And basically it's been something the body uses to activate sirtuins, which is the healing pathway that reverses insulin resistance, turns off inflammation, helps your mitochondria work better, gets out the DNA repair army to repair damage to your DNA. It's amazing. So basically I include these things because I'm sort of gung ho on this. Not everybody has to do all this, but the basic stuff of eating well, moving your body, resistance training, protein in the morning, a good multi-fish oil, vitamin D, that will get people 90% of the way there. And there really is a very set of specific quizzes and questionnaires in the book that actually help you identify where you're out of balance and how to get back in balance and treat some of these underlying things that are causing rapid aging and disease.
Did you ever get COVID?
I did.
How did that happen? How did it
How did it happen?
by you?
How did it happen? Well, it's everywhere. So I probably was a group of people
everywhere.
And I got it, and I wasn't too sick. I did pretty well. I did my normal supplements with it. I did a little bit of active, other active treatments, and I did really fine.
How long did it last you?
The first time, maybe 4 or 5 days. I was feeling a little tired, but the second time I had a cough, which lasted a longer, probably about 10 days. So, but I got through it.
And it's still everywhere.
Still everywhere. Not as bad.
But we have to live with it, I think. Yeah. I don't think it's going anywhere fast, right? Mm-hmm. Even the injections and everything.
No, I mean, the vaccines don't give you immunity from getting the disease. It just prevents you from hopefully having a severe reaction. But, it's very controversial now.
I'm talking to Mark Hyman, Dr. Hyman's Young Forever, his brand new book. So before I let you go off to curing a zillion people, if you're listening and I want that, what are the simplest things I can do without changing every single thing in my life?
Well, there's a few simple things that make, I think, the most difference. The first is really understand that sugar and starch are bad, and that you can have them occasionally as a treat, but they should really not be the staples of your diet, and that is driving every process of aging. And ultra-processed food, basically, which I put in that bucket of that. Second is you want to add in all the good foods, so lots of phytochemical-rich foods, colorful fruits and vegetables, and then the other key as you get older is protein. So make sure you have probably more than you think, about 30 grams per meal. As you get older, is really essential.
Poultry, fish,
chicken, fish, meat, eggs, a protein shake, whey protein.
So you can eat a lot of protein, which makes you full.
Yeah, it makes you full. It speeds up your metabolism. It actually helps build muscle. We have what we call anabolic resistance. As we get older, it's harder to build muscle. We need more protein. And then the last thing is, if you're going to do one kind of activity, resistance training, bands, body weight, weights, whatever it is, you got to do something to build muscle, because that's going to keep you functioning. If you want to take a walk, if you want to get up off the floor if you fall, if you want to do anything, to be enjoying life, you have to have muscle. And this is where metabolism is. When your muscle starts to be replaced with fat, you get diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, cancer, dementia, and low growth hormone, and high cortisol levels, and all these horrible things happen, and low sex hormones. And so you get a real problem if you don't actually keep your muscle.
No, and it gets harder and harder. You know what the big thing here has been? A pre-diabetes medication that they're all taking, metformin, because they claim it gets rid of their appetite. They lose a lot of weight.
Oh, you mean Ozempic?
Metformin. They take metformin.
Yeah.
And they claim that does all those things.
Yeah.
But now people with diabetes can't even get it.
Yeah.
Because everyone's using it as a weight thing.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think there's two things that are happening. One, metformin is a drug that's being recommended for reversing or slowing aging.
Yeah.
And it's a diabetes drug. It's been around for a long time.
You believe in it?
I think it can be helpful for some patients, but I think the data show really clearly that lifestyle interventions work far better. So changing your diet and exercise work far better than the drug, and I'm cautious about it. And there's some big trials going on. I talk about it in the book. The other thing that's being pushed is Ozempic, which is in Wegovy, which is basically an injection that's for diabetes, where it's like $1,700 a month, and people are using it for weight loss. And yes, diabetes patients can't get it. It's a diabetes drug. And it's one of those vicious cycles where you have to stay on it, but it also, I'm concerned about it. There's risk of cancer. There's some evidence that it causes you to lose muscle, which is not what you want to do. So I think if you stop it, people often regain the weight. So there's no quick fix. I mean, the beautiful thing, like I said, with the patient story at the beginning, is that she lost at 66, 116 pounds simply by using food. Another patient lost 134 pounds and got off 10 medications. She's going to be in Women's World soon. Basically use the principles in my book of eating real food and getting off the crap and just common sense. It's not that hard.
Do you drink?
I do. I drink a little, but
Wine?
I don't drink that much wine. Occasionally I have a tequila. The truth is that alcohol we thought might be helpful for health, but it really is not. There's no health reason to have alcohol. To have it recreationally, like sugar, occasionally for fun, okay. But if everything else in your life is balanced, you're fine. But if you're drinking every day, your risk of cancer and other conditions just goes up. It's terrible for your brain. It's basically a poison.
Is wine better than liquor?
No. The wine's got more sugar, actually. I hate to tell you. One shot of tequila or 5 ounces of wine or 10 ounces of beer. The best is the one shot of tequila.
That sounds good. No, tequila is, the thing is, vodka used to be really strong, but tequila is stronger.
Yeah. I mean, it depends what you like. You have a little vodka, tequila, fine. It's what you put with it, right? If you pour in grape juice with it or grapefruit juice or
dipping your cookie in it.
Yeah, not a good thing, yeah.
No, that's all right. Every time I talk to you, I'm inspired. I think you have to move in.
Okay, deal.
When you leave, I try to remember everything and say, no, you can do it. You can change your life. Get that old jump rope out.
You can, Joan. Come on. You're going strong. Your mind is strong. You got to keep your body strong.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's a lot of body to keep strong. We're working on it. Dr. Mark Hyman, you've got to read his new book, and we don't say that about every book, Young Forever, The Secrets to Living Your Longest, Healthiest Life. And it's not impossible. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I promise you. Take care. All the best, Dr. Mark.
Thanks, Joan.
I'm Joan Hamburg, and you're listening to WABC. Much more ahead.
Really clearly that lifestyle interventions work far better. So changing your diet and exercise work far better than the drug, and I'm cautious about it. There's some big trials going on. I talk about it in the book. The other thing that's being pushed is Ozempic, which is in Wegovy, which is basically an injection that's for diabetes, where it's like $1,700 a month, and people are using it for weight loss. And yes, diabetes patients can't get it. It's a diabetes drug. And it's one of those vicious cycles where you have to stay on it, but it also, I'm concerned about it. There's risk of cancer. There's some evidence that it causes you to lose muscle, which is not what you want to do. So I think if you stop it, people often regain the weight. So there's no quick fix. I mean, the beautiful thing, like I said, with the patient story at the beginning is that she lost at 66, 116 pounds simply by using food. Another patient lost 134 pounds and got off 10 medications. She's going to be in Women's World soon. Basically use the principles in my book of eating real food and getting off the crap and just common sense. It's not that hard.
Do you drink?
I do. I drink a little, but
Wine?
I don't drink that much wine. Occasionally I have a tequila. The truth is that alcohol we thought might be helpful for health, but it really is not. There's no health reason to have alcohol. To have it recreationally, like sugar, occasionally for fun, okay. But if everything else in your life is balanced, you're fine. But if you're drinking every day, your risk of cancer and other conditions just goes up. It's terrible for your brain. It's basically a poison.
Is wine better than liquor?
No. The wine's got more sugar, actually. I hate to tell you. One shot of tequila or 5 ounces of wine or 10 ounces of beer. The best is the one shot of tequila.
That sounds good. No, tequila is, the thing is, vodka used to be really strong, but tequila is stronger.
Yeah. I mean, it depends what you like. You have a little vodka, tequila, fine. It's what you put with it, right? If you pour in grape juice with it or grapefruit juice or
dipping your cookie in it.
Yeah, not a good thing, yeah.
No, that's all right. Every time I talk to you, I'm inspired. I think you have to move in.
Okay, deal.
When you leave, I try to remember everything and say, no, you can do it. You can change your life. Get that old jump rope out.
You can, Joan. Come on. You're going strong. Your mind is strong. You got to keep your body strong.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's a lot of body to keep strong. We're working on it. Dr. Mark Hyman, you've got to read his new book, and we don't say that about every book, Young Forever, The Secrets to Living Your Longest, Healthiest Life. And it's not impossible. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I promise you. Take care.
Thanks, Joan.
I'm Joan Hamburg, and you're listening to WABC. All the best, Dr. Mark.
The First Lady of New York Radio, Joan Hamburg. Entertaining and informative. Talk Radio 77 WABC.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.